Welcome to the Mandcave, the only podcast hosted by two best friends with nothing in common except their first name. I'm Mandy Kaplan.
And I'm Mandy Fabian. Every week we test the limits of our friendship by, oh my God, we talk about movies and TV and sometimes audiobooks and, all of Mandy's dumb ideas. So, hey guys, welcome to it. Get on your couches. This is the Mandcave. Hey, 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 hey.
Cut this shit.
There was no electronics with that. That was completely from my mouth. I also do mouth trumpet.
That I know.
Yeah.
I've been your backup singer when you were like, hang tight, I'm doing a mouth trumpet solo.
It makes me very, very happy.
So our last episode was Under the Mandy of Heaven.
Yep.
Thank you, Pete, for the title. And I requested on that podcast very specifically, if you are watching this and enjoying this, please let me know how and why.
Oh.
And we have heard from a Fandy, thankfully, who said her name is Samantha, and she reached out on social media and said, I'm not really sure I like anything about it. The fact that these people are clearly mentally ill but call it religion is so deeply upsetting to watch. But now I have to know how it ends. So,
yeah, she's got Fabian disease. Fabian's got that disease a little bit. Yeah, I know.
I mean, so even people who are watching it aren't liking it.
Isn't that something? I know. Well, that's how I felt, about Inventing Anna.
Yes. No one liked Inventing Anna, but people watched it.
Well, people liked the story. I think people were like very intrigued by the story, but most people are like, yeah. But I think, there's so much stuff that people just go, it's trash TV. Like they don't expect it to be good. You know what I mean? They sort of go, yeah. They don't.
I think Under the Banner of Heaven is prestige TV, though. I think it was supposed to be good.
Oh, so, yeah. No, I think it was supposed to be good. Sure. Isn't everything? I mean, don't you always you've had that experience, I'm sure, where you've worked on something and everybody's like, you guys, this is amazing. And then you put it out to the world and it's kind of like crickets. I can't do crickets with my mouth. We're going to have to hire a special effects. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I sound like R2-D2. I know. I'm sorry.
No, everything. I don't know that feeling, man. Everything I touch turns to gold. Huh? Like Miscast.
Funny.
Sunday, June 12th. It'll be gold. You and me, Miscast, on stage together again with 10 other phenomenally talented singers and performers. Tickets at Eventbrite, all for charity.
I'm very, very excited. I was working on my tracks.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I love that you have tracks.
Oh, God, so good. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. I got a lot of friends coming.
Maybe Mouth Trumpet will happen. Live for the people.
Yes, I will do it. I will have to text my agent and see if they're okay with that, but I will do it. I'm going to need a single light from the top of the stage. You know
from
what I mean?
Heaven.
I'll need I'll need total blackness and a pool of light and a fedora and quick time to change into my tux. But yes.
And then will you do Mouth Trumpet to Coming Out of the Dark? Will you do that song? Because I feel like that's what you're describing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wait, what's it from?
That's Gloria Estefan.
Oh, right. Oh, of course the rhythm is going to get you. Always. It always gets you. Yeah.
So you had some time to watch some stuff this week and take in some media because you were not well.
I was not well. I finally got the big C.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, shit, that's not the big C. There's another big C. No, I got the miniatures. What, the medium C? The global C. The can-do-mic. The can-do-mic. That's my new phrase for it. It's the can-do-mic.
It's really solid work.
Here's the weird thing. Yeah, I got COVID. I got the dirty, dirty COVID, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a miracle that I didn't get chlamydia.
Yet.
Right? Yet.
Yes.
It's a miracle that never happened to me. So, okay. So I got the dirty virus that's going around everywhere. And it was, wow. What a ride. It was pretty rough. But here's the upside. I got days and days and days of sleep. And the COVID is helping me sleep through the night. I'm thinking,
Oh, yeah, it is.
oh, lady, I'm going to go to all the concerts and the football games. I'm going to go to the restaurants and sit close to people. I want more COVID so I can sleep through the night. I'm very happy with the results.
This is maybe the cure for perimenopause or menopause.
I think it is. I'm serious.
Right?
All
you get
the
COVID
ladies,
and
yes. I don't know if that happened to you. Did you have a good night's sleep when you had the COVID?
oh God. Well, first of all, I had it
Before it was cool.
You know, I set the trend. Yeah.
Yeah. You were
yeah, I was
ground zero,
patient
weren't
zero.
you?
Yeah. But and yes, I slept a ton. But I mean, I was so violently ill for some of it. It wasn't like a bad cold. It was like
No, I know.
a horrifying experience. Yeah. So let's not make light of it. I suffered.
Okay. All right. No, I don't know if I was violently ill, but I definitely had I was shaking and I couldn't have gotten out of bed if I wanted to. Patrick went out of town and I was like, well, I'll just lay here. But again, here's an upside. There are some pants I haven't been able to fit to in a while. And
Hey.
I know, right? So I mean, it stops my hot flashes and I'm looking sleek. I have new energy.
Take that, Jenny Craig.
Yeah, I'm going to give this disease a thumbs up. As far as viruses go, one of my faves.
Oh boy. That's a hot take. Ooh.
I'm
Oh,
kidding.
boy.
I'm kidding. No, I'm glad to be through it. I'm glad. Actually, the whole time I was like, I'm just glad I'm not in the hospital. That makes me very happy.
Yes.
Yeah. What'd you do this week? Because I was completely out of commission.
I feel like I've been very busy, but nothing to report. Is that terrible?
No.
We had our book club meeting and we did read The Maid. I wish I had the author on me, but I really liked it. It was polarizing in book club. It was like
Interesting.
half of us found it too light and meaningless, and the other half really liked it. I really liked it. And I know Florence Pugh got the rights and she's making the movie. So
wait, hold on, The Maid, isn't that the one that they did the Netflix series?
no, that's Maid. That's Andy McDowell's daughter. This is a novel called The Maid.
The Maid. Oh God. Okay, I'm thinking of the Stephanie Land book that was made into the Netflix series. And I was hoping, did you ever read that book?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, someday you're going to read that book, and I want to know if anybody else had the same reaction I did, which was like, well, she basically trapped that guy with a kid, on purpose. So the fact that he was,
we talked about it on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, we did. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So good Fandys, please reach out if you, I want to hear if anybody else had that same, or if I'm just a monster. And I could be a heartless monster.
The book I'm talking about is The Maid by Nita Prose. Prose.
And you enjoyed it?
Very, very much enjoyed it.
Okay.
Lauren Ambrose did the audiobook. She was wonderful. So
Okay.
take that, other members of book club. I really liked it.
All right. So I'm going to call the other members of your book club because I'll love it. I mean, I'll hate it. Okay.
Yes. But I know you can't hate what we watched this week.
No. Who can hate waiting for Guffman?
Oh, nothing ever happens on Mars. I just want to, maybe we just sing the whole thing. This is my favorite movie of all time. For anyone who doesn't know it, it is a Christopher Guest mockumentary.
Yes.
Entirely improvised.
Mm-hmm.
And the story is that it is the sesquicentennial, which is the 150th anniversary of Blaine, Missouri, the stool capital of America. And they are going to put on their town show. And they have enlisted the help of Corky St. Clair, who is a New York transplant living in this small town. And he is going to direct this show with these local, we'll put the word actors in quotes. And it is the funniest movie I've ever seen.
The local travel agents who have never left Blaine, Missouri.
Well, one time they did, one time.
Right. I thought that was I love that stuff. Yeah, it was 4 minutes in when he describes what he imagined his life would be like after leaving New York. Mm-hmm. And he's imagining because he was in New York as an actor, it's not going so well. And I think he directed a bunch of plays and musicals and things. But he had
has
to leave.
The posters on his wall. Yeah.
And he leaves the big city because he just can't take it, and he just wants a fresh start. So he imagines that he's going to just move to a small town and get maybe one of those construction jobs. And he is talking about and then he immediately goes into what the outfits would be. Not on purpose, just I thought I'd be wearing one of those hats. It's and he talks about a hard hat, and he talks about how that with the swooping. I forget what he says. Pete, you could play it if you.
Pete, let's play that.
Oh my God.
Give the people the gift.
Yeah, it's about 4 minutes in.
I had been living in New York and working there as an actor and director and choreographer for 25 years or so, and I really felt I needed a change. I imagined in my fantasy, I suppose, that when I came here, I would have a completely different life. Perhaps a construction worker or one of those guys that works on those high wire things that with a hard hat, that sweeping sort of hat, and with the chaps. But that didn't really work out. I began to realize, I guess, that the theater was still in my blood, and what I had to do was make use of that. So I offered my services to the high school here, and they accepted, and I began to teach drama. And within about 6 months, I had formed the Blaine Community Players.
This was, I think, one of the first times. It's now such a trope. These characters who have a wife that we never meet, who are very effeminate, and everybody assumes they're gay. But it's, this was one of the first times we had seen it, and it's done hilariously.
Yes.
But now when I see it, I'm so sick of it, and I'm so sick of that character choice.
Well, it's interesting because I don't know, it felt a little touchy to me as I watched it. I was a little bit I don't think you can do this anymore. I don't think you can be this stereotypical about everything a gay man is. And of course he's gay because
I buy all the clothes for my wife, Bonnie. Yeah. I pick out all her clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the wife that no one has ever seen. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And but I still love it. Even though I don't think you're supposed to do that, I still love him when he hires the young mechanic to be in the play.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? It's Johnny Savage or
Johnny. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I love the way he checks him out. And Christopher Guest is just so weird and wonderful and specific, right? So it's kind of you're right. It's a done joke. And I think it's even an offensive joke. It might even be
these days. Yeah.
Very, very offensive to people now. But I still giggled at it because it's still a very funny device. I love that he directed Backdraft as a play.
Well, that's okay. So, Pete, at 5 minutes and 28 seconds, please play the entire description of Backdraft.
My first show was Barefoot in the Park, which was an absolute smash. But my production on the stage of Backdraft was what really got them excited. This whole idea of in-your-face theater really affected them. The conceptualization, the whole abstraction, the obtuseness of this production to me was what was interesting. I wanted the audience to feel the heat from the fire, the fear, because people don't like fire poked in their noses. When you get a cinder from barbecue right on the end of your nose and you kind of make that little face, that's not a good thing. I wanted to have the sense memory of that. So during the show, I had someone burn newspapers and send it through the vents in the theater. Well, they freaked out. Of course, the fire marshal came over and they shut us down for a couple of days.
Now, we have a lot of really young listeners, though, Mandy. You should explain what Backdraft is for the young listeners.
It was a movie in the early 90s, maybe?
I think, yeah.
Travolta and Kurt Russell, was it? I'm making stuff up.
You're amazing that you even remember who was in it. I just remember it was
a fireman movie. I'm making it up. Yeah.
It was but
Days
of Thunder was top car, and then Backdraft was top fire.
People don't like to have fire poked in their noses. That's not a good thing. That's whole scene, and I could do it from memory because I obviously didn't just hear it like the people did. But I just love it. Now, you said something a few minutes ago, Christopher Guest is such an interesting, funny, weird guy or something.
Yeah.
Eugene Levy, legendarily one of the nicest guys in Hollywood, everyone says.
Yep.
I watched it this time with the commentary rather than watching it again without, because I've seen it 175 times.
Oh my God.
It is the most boring DVD commentary from two of the funniest, quick-witted people on the planet. It is painfully boring to listen to them.
Well, that's so weird. You mean...
Shocking, right?
Yeah. Did they just talk... Well, wow. So they just talked about like how they shot scenes or what? Like what was boring about it? Just...
It was so boring. It wasn't funny. They were like, I think we shot this. Yeah, we shot this after we wrapped the set. So we had to come back. That's right. Were you on set that day? No, I had already left town. Uh-huh. Like that's what it was so boring.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting. I mean, I might find it interesting just because I was dying to know how they shot this.
Right. You get some fun facts, which I will offer up, but it's not.
Please.
I thought it would be two of the funniest people riffing and, and like.
Don't you find that? Don't you find that there are like many comedians who are really, really hilariously funny in their work and then off screen they are like super serious?
I don't meet them. Where are you meeting all these serious comedians?
There was one, I met with an actress who I saw, she made me laugh so hard in Special, that movie, that Netflix show Special.
Mm-hmm.
And I met with her and I couldn't believe it because I just thought she was I thought she was one of the funniest people I had ever seen in my life. I mean, I was like, God, she's a brilliant comedian. And when I met with her, I was trying to crack jokes and like play and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't picking up any of it. It was like she was so serious and not playful. And I thought that is really, how can you do something that's so funny and not be naturally a funny person like that? Like, right? But
it's
some
so
people
weird.
aren't.
Yeah.
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 Like Mike Myers was super serious on the Smart List episode. I don't know if you listened to that one, but we're always plugging other podcasts here, folks.
No, I mean, he's really making the rounds and I find him very boring. So I have not really listened.
As a person, but as a character person, as an actor.
No, I love Mike Myers, like movies and characters.
Right.
Yeah. So I see your point. He was very boring in those interviews.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I'm really funny on the podcast. Does that mean I'm not funny when I'm acting?
Oh, I'm so glad you said it first. Yeah. You're the opposite, right? Like, never make me laugh on stage. Come on. I'm joking. You're very funny. Both places. That's lucky Jeremy and lucky me,
Well, bless your heart.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I did learn from the commentary is that the auditions that they film, so if you're going to do a show, Red, White, and Blaine, you need to audition all the locals. And they came in and they did these little auditions, and that was their first day of shooting. So, and he didn't say that Bob Balaban, who is so good in this movie, Bob Balaban plays the guy who was in charge of the theater before Corky came to town. And now he's been relegated to musical director. And he's bitter and stoic and just like seething with rage. And I think he is so hilarious.
So
and
good.
They're watching these auditions. I got the sense that maybe they didn't really know what the people were going to come in and do. So they were genuinely watching these things for the first time, but they're all public domain songs, which I love.
Oh,
Eugene Levy does like a medley of all, I dream of Jeannie with the light brown hair. Look out, Camptown racists sing this song. And it's like so funny. It's all public domain.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't catch that, but that's great. That's really funny. Yep. Hey, a fun fact. I know a couple people in this movie.
I know you do.
How do you know that?
Well, I mean, Miriam Flynn is a voiceover artist who we've known for years.
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
Oh, she works backstage with them. And then your family friend works backstage as the stage manager.
Yeah.
Because they filmed it in Texas, not in
They did
Missouri.
film it in Texas. Yeah. So Jill Parker Jones, who plays the stage manager. I bet Miriam was maybe the wardrobe gal?
Yes.
Okay. I did not recognize her, or I didn't know that I knew her. But also the guy who pops the the ping pong balls
Oh
out of
my
his mouth. Yeah, his
You
name
know
is,
him?
Yeah, his name is Turk Pipkin, or at least that was his stage name. And the comedy group that I was a part of, he used to come and like open for our show. Yeah,
Turk Pipkin.
Turk Pipkin, that was his name.
Can we talk about that name for a second?
Best name
That's
ever.
amazing.
Maybe we should change the name of the podcast,
I feel like we should. Wow, Turk
The Turk
Pipkin.
Yeah.
We need to chill out with all our catchphrases though, because poor Pete, he is
working
churning
so
out
hard.
new merchandise. If you go to the mandcave.com/merch and you have listened to last week's episode, you're welcome.
It's so good. The punk Mormon band names.
Mormons got lawyers.
Jesus Christ. The guy's just a damn genius. Yes.
Yes. So there's
Thank
lots
you,
of
Pete.
new merch on mandcave.com/merch.
Mhm.
So on the extras, on the DVD extras in these auditions.
Yeah.
And I used to know this by heart too, because I'm so nuts for this movie. Parker Posey, not only does she sing Teacher's Pet that we see in the movie, she does an original monologue that is so hilarious. And it's, you didn't watch on DVD because why would you?
No.
Right?
I didn't.
So she's like, Libby Mae Brown is her character. And she's like, who's sorry now, huh? You touched me in places you shouldn't have, and mom and dad never did anything, but now you're in jail and you're in the hospital. Who's on top now? Oh, I'm sorry. There's like a plug that controls his breathing right here. Who's on top now? And then she mimes ripping the plug out of the wall. And she like does all this space work with like opening the hospital door and closing the hospital door. It is the most off-color, bizarre, hilarious.
Why didn't they
thing.
include it, I wonder? Too far?
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
probably-
it was too far. Maybe each character got their one audition piece,
Oh, man. But I think that's funnier than Teacher's Pet.
Me too. It
way
is
funnier.
so good. But it is uncomfortable though.
Yeah.
Because of the incest. It's really.
Yeah.
But it is really, really funny. Parker Posey was like a non-entity when they gave her this role, and she is genius.
Oh, interesting. It's funny. Like I loved it, but I wasn't like my favorite of the improv movies. You know what I mean? I thought
Which one is?
I haven't seen them all in a while, but like Spinal Tap still to me beats this hands down.
I respectfully disagree. I love Spinal Tap, but this is.
Well, that's also because this is this is the musical theater, and this is,
Right.
yeah. I loved a lot about it, but like Spinal Tap felt more real to me, and this like went a little broader with the like, the hair, the ladies, Catherine O'Hara's hairstyle that sticks straight up and looks like a rooster, even when she's doing her characters on stage, they all have the bangs that go straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then something like it was a little soft. It was, I don't know. But I liked it.
You laughed.
I did laugh. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
I don't care for your lack of enthusiasm.
No. Like it's a classic, and I enjoyed it immensely. I really enjoyed watching it. So I'm not complaining about it at all. I just like there. To your point, maybe the incest scene would have made me go, "Oh my God, that's genius!" Because sometimes I thought they were just being silly, but it wasn't actually doing anything. You know what I mean? It was like they were just trying to be funny, and it maybe was sort of funny, but not like, "Oh my God, that's genius." But that's true for any improv movie.
Well, so one of the fun facts was that some of the crew kept asking for the script, and they weren't aware they were working on an improvised movie.
Really?
Yes. So that was one thing that I learned.
Well, that's amazing.
The other thing is, and maybe you would have preferred this, several things that were cut are a cut scene of Eugene Levy and Fred Willard in a fist fight because Fred Willard kept making dentist jokes. So Dr. Pearl snaps at one point and they end up in a fist fight. I don't know if it got filmed, but they said it was a cut scene from the movie. And then the original outline had a huge tornado destroying the theater before the show. See? You would have preferred.
That's why also as a filmmaker, I'm like, what? How would they? I'm sure that, I heard a little inside from Jill, who was in it.
Mm-hmm.
She
Not
said
Turk.
that they would shoot.
You're not talking to Turk, The sexual tension got to be too much.
No, Turk and I parted ways amicably. And I think he's wonderful. I wish him the best. He moved on to tennis balls and, no, she said that they eventually had to like stop him because he would just shoot and shoot and shoot. And this is before digital, I think. I mean, he would shoot film just until the camera just ran out and then go again. It was a pretty crazy experiment. I mean, a good experiment, but
he mentioned the editing process and it was like, he said like a year and a half of editing.
Yeah.
So it, obviously they had a ton
of footage. Yeah. Fun fact. Here's a fun fact. I also had a dentist that wanted to be a stand-up comedian. True story. In Austin, Texas, no less.
Wow.
Yeah. He would give me laughing gas for do the thing. And then he would tell me jokes.
Okay. That is hilarious and twisted and weird.
And real. And so real. Mm-hmm. Oh, can I?
Wow.
There is a scene that I really wanted to. There's one thing that this movie. Well, not one thing. There are many things this movie does great, but this one part that I really liked is how they set up Fred to be such a lovable, but like really controlling of his wife.
Fred Willard playing Ron Albertson, travel agent. Yeah,
and super super sexist. Like he even his wife introduces herself. What's her name?
Sheila.
Yeah, she's like, "Hi, I'm Sheila," and he goes, "This is Mrs. Ron Anderson or Henderson or whatever their name is."
Albertson.
It was right. He's like, "This is Mrs. Ron Albertson." I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, "Oh my God!" He want her to introduce herself. It wasn't overbearing. It was so subtle, but it was placed so nicely in there. It made me giggle. But I wanted something, Pete. I'd love for you to play. There's a scene it's at 21:58 in the movie. Fred Willard, by the way, is a repeater. Like me, or at least his character is. He laughs so hard at his own joke that he makes. He repeats it 3 times.
Yep.
And it's all about him. And then, wait, I don't know if that's this scene. Sorry, but he does that in the movie. I don't know if that's the scene. Sorry, but anyway, he gives notes to his wife. I just repeated. Did you see that? It's amazing. I have a sickness. Anyway, he gives notes to his wife, and this is the scene at 21:58.
I must say I was very shocked to see that Dr. Pearl had actually been cast. Then I thought...
Well, we're in a glamour profession being travel agents, and he isn't in such a glamorous... one project we have to loosen him up. I have a feeling he's a little tight. He's, particularly when he's around us, probably. I don't think he'll mind jokes.
You're intimidating, Ron, because you have so much experience.
I know.
Ron is going to help everyone act, because I know Ron gives me, in all the productions we've been in, and when we do scene studies at home together, Ron will have extensive... 2-hour sessions of notes for me. And it's so helpful.
Lately, it's notes for both of us.
No,
just lately, that you get most of them.
He's trying to help me to change my instincts or at least ignore them.
So having not just heard it, is that when she says, well, when we do scene studies at home, Ron gives extensive notes.
Yeah. They're mostly
and he's like, well, the notes are for both of us, but you get most of them.
Yeah. And she says, he's trying to help me change my instincts or at least ignore them.
Oh, God, it's so good. It's so good. Catherine O'Hara does a next level drunk in this movie at the Chinese food restaurant.
Uh-huh.
Next level uncomfortable drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like where she's slurry. She's like her eye focus is really weird and it feels so real that it actually makes me uncomfortable. It's like, oh, is she really? Like, really? And it's also like Chinese food house wine. So I'm just like, that is just so gross in the first place.
Oh my God, I love that you feel for her because the kind of wine she's drinking.
Of course. Of course. If she had a nice crisp Chardonnay. Yeah.
That's so funny.
This movie is to me so quotable, but Eugene Levy and Christopher Guest said the most quoted ones are, I hate you and your ass face and your bastard people. Those are the two that like people come up to them on the street and say the most.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I thought maybe they said he shops at Walmart. He doesn't even support the town.
Oh, God, yeah. One of the things about this movie...
Did you flinch a little when they said that? Like,
why you got to bring that up? Why you got to do that? I shop at Walmart. I just placed an order online.
I just wondered if that quote made you uncomfortable. That's all. Go ahead. I wasn't trying to do anything.
I love for the first 15, 20 minutes, and then they appear other times. The cast of lesser known actors, Don Lake and Michael Hitchcock, and the woman who plays Gwen Fabin. I'm mad at myself. I don't have her name off the top of my head. The real townsfolk, right? Mm-hmm. Who are concerned with things like, we want to have security at the Red, White, and Blaine Festival. Maybe we need to have a shooter on top of this building and a shooter on top of this building. Like they are all so understated. Mm-hmm. They are all such gifted performers, and they were utilized so well to make this feel real and make it more uncomfortable. Like, are we laughing at these small town people? Are we celebrating these small town people? It was, I just thought it was totally perfect.
Yeah. They were great. When he goes to the town council and asks for more money, he asks for $100,000, and they all they think he's joking, and it's a really funny scene. But then Corky gives up on the musical, and he gives up and pouts, and he won't come back to rehearsal. And oh my God, Bob Balaban is in heaven. He's so excited. He's like,
so
great.
Happy.
I thought we would actually work on the lyrics and the music, and then we're going to do dancing. Mm-hmm. He, you know how you felt about Neil Patrick Harris in the Nick Cage movie?
Massive Talent.
Yeah. I feel that way a little bit about Bob Balaban, man.
We needed more Balaban.
I would have liked to see their dynamic play out a little bit more. It was,
they only get one real moment.
Yeah.
When Corky, Bob Balaban's like, they don't know they're there. And he's like, well, you don't have to whisper. and he's like, well, they don't know. Well, now you're just shouting. And it's so tense between them. And Balaban hates him so much. Oh, this movie to me is perfection. I can't say enough about it. It just makes my heart sing. I love it so much. My favorite quote is Libby Mae Brown talking about how everything happens at the DQ. And like, sometimes you just drive up and get a Coke. Like, her accent is all over the place. I love her. I love that she's cooking one little chicken wing, one sad, pathetic, disgusting little chicken wing over a grill. Like, that's, oh God, everything.
I love that they have a Broadway producer who's actually going to come to this thing and then can't not because he couldn't make it or because it wasn't going to fit in his schedule. There was a snowstorm that canceled all the flights. That's the note. Mm-hmm. There was a snowstorm. He would have come. He absolutely would have come, because they do come to that. So that's what I love. Like, this whole thing of them waiting for Mort Guffman, the Broadway producer, to come. It's such a ridiculous notion that it would ever even be in the remote possibility. But it was a really fun device. I loved it. Yeah.
Right. So 20 million infinity out of 5?
I would definitely give it 4.75 man jobs. It's a little soft. Mm-hmm. It's a little soft. Ugh. It's not like
perfection.
Yeah, but it's great. And I love it. I just can't give it 5 because it holds up.
All right. Well,
it's a good time.
If you love Guffman, like I love Guffman, because you have a heart and you're a good person, then please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and tell us your favorite quote from Guffman, and we will get it out there next week. I promise you that. Yeah. 5 stars, write a review for the Mandcave. The more reviews we get, the more, I'm going to make up stuff now, the more algorithms happen.
We get women. Drugs.
Yes. And the phalanges work. So please, please, please leave us a review. And if you leave us a review, the credit really goes to our brilliant engineer, Pete Wright. Mandcave is a production of True Story FM, and our music is by Ian Post.
Yes. And guys, if you want to talk to us, we're not as intimidating as you might think. We're on Discord. Go to mandcave.com/Discord. There's an app, there's a community channel, and then there's a super secret members only channel, our only Fandy channel, where we post pictures and chat about the show. And if you want to become a Fandy, That's like, the elite of the Mandy Club. You get to change your first name to Mandy. That's a right we will completely grant you. And you get bonus content, early access to podcasts, and like cool messages on your birthday. And like, honestly, you can ask us to do almost anything. So being a Fandy has its benefits. It's like $5 a month. So please do support us. That's how the show happens.
All right, I'm going to get us a new Fandy right now. If any new Fandys sign up this week, I will post a video of myself doing the choreography that Corky St. Clair is working out in his apartment. You don't get a better offer than that. So we'll see you on Discord, Fandys.
Yay, we love you.
Are you ready for a game?
I am.
So in the spirit of the Christopher Guest movies being improvised, we are going to play an improv game.
Okay.
Oh, she looks terrified.
No, I love improv.
I wish you could all see. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, we were watching The Best of the Best, right? Fred Willard, League of His Own. These people are extraordinarily talented, but we're better.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And I'm assuming most Fandys and listeners have been out at a club where you see an improv troupe, if you will.
Rookies.
You were just talking about yours.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask for a suggestion from the audience, and then they play a game. And the game we are going to play, because it's easy to do on Zoom, is the question game.
Okay.
Whoever phrases something as a declarative first loses and is a piece of shit. So, because we don't have a live audience at the moment, I have been writing down suggestions from our previous conversation.
Is there something I don't know about? Do we have a show coming up? You said at the moment. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Right, when we record.
Uh-huh,
I'm sure the people listening next week are shouting out their suggestions.
I'm sure
as they're driving and in the shower, but we can't hear you.
Definitely.
Mandy has many voices in her head, but you are not one of them. So we're going to start with the scene about a tornado.
Great. And I'm just going to ask you a question?
Yeah, you have to. Did you start?
Oh, why not? Oh, that's another one. Oh, I'm in the money.
Do you feel a shift in the weather?
Why wouldn't I? Shouldn't we go down the street and hide in a barn?
Wait,
is this the game?
You think there's a barn down the street?
Didn't your grandmother tell you about that?
Are you just trying to get me alone in a barn?
Are you going to put out?
Don't I always put out?
Will you show me your knees from last week?
Why would you want to see my knees?
Is that any of your business?
Aren't there better body parts to see?
Are you going to let me see those body parts if I give you this whiskey?
Oh, what would you do for a glimpse of a body part? You would give me whiskey? I think I failed there. I tried just by making my voice go up, but
no, I'm laughing because we're both going blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Oh, I'm
laughing because Fabian has like a look of sheer like panic, and then she starts to speak. But every time it's like, and then she speaks. So
that's part of my, maybe
stage. It's been a while since your improv days.
Wait, I crushed that. Are you kidding me? Like, that's my
the look of panic.
Look. No, it's excitement.
Okay, so what about, let's switch from the question game to the alphabet game.
I've never played the question game. That was very interesting. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you have to start with something that begins with A. I say B, or you know the alphabet game, right?
I know the alphabet. Yes.
All right. Welcome to your first day here at the Dairy Queen.
Bela. Okay. All right. Wait. Let's start over. I got it. Sorry.
All right. Welcome to your first day at the Dairy Queen.
Back there. What's that? Is that where I check in?
Could you be more specific?
Down under the under the rows of frozen ice balls. Is that where I punch my card?
Everybody has to check in down under the frozen ice balls.
Fine. That's fine with me.
Good. Now let's get you started on the register.
How do I work this thing?
I will show you.
Just a minute. I need to do my breathing exercises or else I'll have a panic attack.
Kissing is not allowed at the DQ.
Let me just do this one thing. It's how I relax.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to step back.
No. Sweetheart, you don't need to call me ma'am. I'm your new employee.
Oh my God, I'm liking this now.
Put out right now.
Quit it, you little minx. Our shift ain't over. Stop it.
Take a minute. Just take a breath. I don't want to get all handsy at work. We've got to keep this professional.
Urges. I can't help it. I have urges.
Violent, crusty, creamy urges. Ooh.
Will you focus on the register, please?
Exactly. I mean, sorry.
Wait. Oh, no. I skipped V, right?
No.
No, violent. Oh, no. Yeah. Will you focus on the register, please?
And I said, exactly. X. Wait, I'll just sign my name and I don't know how to write. I didn't know how to do. I couldn't think of an X word.
You are a confusing but very sexy woman.
Zounds, lady, let's get you out of this fast food joint and marry me.
Sounds good. I can say whatever I want.
You sure can.
Alphabet's over.
Let's just keep the game going, though. I feel like people want to know how it ends.
Zounds.
That's a real Southern word, isn't it?
It is. So we're better than Fred Willard and Christopher Guest.
So much better. You're welcome, Mandys. I feel like some people just like, they're like, I don't even care what it takes. I'll do $10 a month for that action.
Yep.
Yes.
Plus the choreography videos.
Okay. Are you ready?
Always.
There's something, this is a little trick that I
was going to, wait, if you said, are you ready? I was going to like, believe me, I'm ready. And just start over.
Oh, it's so good.
Because I like the games. I like the games to go on and on and on.
I know. Do you want to do another game? Did you have another game?
No. I'll behave. I'm ready.
You're wonderful.
Lay it on
Okay. But I want to, it's a little secret. I don't think that what I'm giving you next is super edgy and it's not going to annoy you. But it is something that my husband won't watch with me. And so I really want to see it. And I'm excited to see it. So we are going to watch The Atom Project.
Oh,
have you heard of it?
My boys watched it. Yeah.
Oh.
My boys watched it and they liked it. And it's not my thing, but I'll do it.
Oh, I didn't even know it wasn't your thing.
Well, time travel and sci-fi and all that. Not my thing.
Oh, I thought it was a comedy.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, this will be interesting.
Won't it, though?
Somebody reached out to me and said, you will love The Atom Project. You must watch The Atom Project. So.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and it is Ryan Reynolds in it, right?
Yes.
Please.
Whom I love.
Yeah, that's
And
like
Jennifer Garner, whom I love.
Oh, my God. This is a no-brainer. That's a bar we can reach.
All right.
Yeah. All right, we're going to watch The Atom Project.
You got it.
How exciting.
And I'll see you next week, lady.
You will, whether you like it or not. Bye.
Love you.
Love you.